Tight ends, 2025 fantasy football tiers, my rankings, and really know what I'm talking about, guys. So you should listen up. If you want a copy of these tiers for any of the positions, for all the positions, hit me up, and I'll be happy to share. Tight end, a onesie position, so it's going to be shorter than the episodes on running back and wide receiver for sure. We'll blow right through it, try to keep up. Tier 1 and tier 2, three elite guys, no matter how you slice it. There's no other way to look at it. If you want to break up Bowers and McBride and Kittle like I did because of where they're being drafted, sure. But if you want to go elite tight end, it's one of these three, and there's nobody else in the conversation. I'd love to have any of these three guys, depending on their draft capital. For me, McBride is the one that provides the most value based on where they're drafted. Though in a non-tight end, I've happened to play in a lot of tight end premium leagues, so these guys go quite early. In a regular league, which probably most of you play in, Kittle might slide to around 4 or 5. I like the value there as well. But for me, in a tight end premium league, if I can get McBride 10 picks later than Bowers, I like that better than taking Bowers in the top 6. That's not the exciting part. Moving on to tier 3 is where it gets really interesting. And one of my main targets in every draft now is the rookie Tyler Warren. There's nothing I don't like about him other than his alma mater. I think his situation is good. His physical profile is good. His college production is good. I think for the next decade, there's going to be a 3-man conversation at the top. I think it's going to be Bowers, McBride, Warren. That's how high I am on him. And I think it begins now, this season. We've had this prevailing narrative, which has been true, that rookie tight ends, they don't do it in year 1 historically. And that was true until recently. Not to bring up Kyle Pitts, who we won't talk about for a minute here because he's bumped way down. But since his rookie season, even though that didn't turn out well, but 2 years ago, Laporta came in and crushed. Last year, Bowers came in and freaking dominated. Warren is going to continue that track. And yeah, for me, he's the 4th tight end off the board, ahead of Laporta, ahead of Hockenson, ahead of whoever else you might have in this tier. That being said, I think Laporta is a little undervalued. I think people remember the first half of last year more than the back half of last year. I don't know why he's not a little bit higher playing in the offense that he plays in, and given the production that he has given us after 2 seasons, it's on a pace to be one of the best to ever play the position offensively. So I think Laporta, I don't know why he's become so unsexy. Tucker Kraft, again, another one of my go-to guys this year. I think he emerges since you've heard me talk about the Packers, whether it's in the quarterback position with Jordan Love, whether it's in the wide receiver position with Matt Golden. I like that offense. However, there is no alpha right now in that passing game. I think Love can get the ball all over the field. He's a super talented quarterback. I think Kraft could become the guy. He's strong. He gets open. He makes plays after the catch. I think he's got it all. And if I'm not getting one of the elite guys, I'm waiting till Laporta's off the board, till Hawkinson's off the board, till probably Andrews and Kelsey are off the board. And then for me, it's Warren and it's Kraft. One of those guys as the 9th, 10th, 12th tight end off the board. I'm happy waiting if I don't go for one of the elite guys. TJ Hawkinson, more than a year now removed from a bad injury, should be healthy in a really good offense. JJ McCarthy, he's the key to the 2 on the outside and Hawkinson doing what they are capable of doing. But that's a mid-round bet I'm willing to make. Tier 4, always a big Njoku fan when he's healthy and when he has good quarterback play. And while we might not think Joe Flacco is good quarterback play, he can move the ball down the field still at his age. And last year when Flacco played, Njoku was a top 5 tight end. So he's a guy, again, 10th tight end off the board, happy to have. Similarly, Evan Ingram going over to Denver, where there's Cortland Sutton and then there's a bunch of dudes. Those dudes could be good. in aggregate, I think they're going to be good. Ingram could emerge as the number 2 target in an offense with a good emerging quarterback led by Sean Payton that I think is going to score some points. So Ingram can definitely play for me. Andrews and Kelsey, they're here on name brand recognition, I think, more than anything else. I haven't found myself taking much of either of them in any of my drafts thus far. If I had to choose one, it would be Andrews. But I'm not targeting these guys. If I have Lamar Jackson, I'd be more apt to take Andrews for the stackability. But I'm probably moving on. Like I said, they probably are coming off the board in your draft before Tyler Warren and before Tucker Kraft, and I'd much, much, much rather have those 2 young guys. Tier 5, Colston Loveland, Chig Okonkwo, Dallas Goedert, Jake Ferguson, Dalton Kincaid. Let's talk about the top 2. Loveland was drafted ahead of my guy Tyler Warren and went to Michigan, so he should be my guy instead of Tyler Warren, but situation matters. And I thought the Bears made actually a silly draft pick taking Colston Loveland, even though I think he's going to be a good football player. They just had other needs, and I think Cole Kmet is a good player, and he could absolutely be the tight end in Chicago. There's just a lot of guys that need the ball there. 3 receivers, the two receivers coming back from last year, Moore and Ndunze, plus Luther Burden, who's an exciting rookie, plus Zacchaeus is playing well, plus Swift out of the backfield, and then competing for time with Cole Kmet. That's what knocks Loveland down for me. Am I willing to take a gamble? Sure, but I just rather go a different direction. Chig Okonkwo. He's probably my biggest delta in where I have him ranked and where you have to take him. He's going to go undrafted in a lot of leagues. I think he's going to be a tight end 1. You've heard me say in every other episode, whether they're talking about Ridley or Cam Ward or Tony Pollard, I like the Titans to take a step forward this year. And besides Ridley, I think Chig is going to be the biggest beneficiary of that in the passing game this year. And if I want to wait on tight end, be the last one, wait till everyone has freaking 2 tight ends in my draft, and then take Chig. He can start for me day 1. That's how highly I think of him this season, and somebody that I'm really targeting. Tier 6, Strange, Pitts, Henry, Ertz. Not excited about this. If I was going to take a pick here, it's Brenton Strange. That's why I have him at the top of the foursome here. I like the Jacksonville Jaguar offense to emerge, and I think he's going to be, now that Ingram's out of town, I think the tight end has value in that offense. And I think that offense is going to be better. And now with Hunter opposite BTJ, you have 2 guys on the outside that defenses must account for on every single play, leave the middle of the field open for a tight end. So I think Strange can be a back-end tight end 1 if things fall his way. Tier 7, 8, and 9, not so much to be excited about, but a couple guys that we might point out here. Harold Fannin Jr., one of the best tight ends to ever play college football, essentially. I don't love that he landed in Cleveland because I like Njoku, but it seems that they're finding ways to get him on the field because he's that good and that talented. So especially in dynasty leagues, he's got a guy that I think has a bright future on that team with Njoku already there. Who knows about quarterback play? Is there going to be much weekly that you can count on this year? Probably not. Cade Otton. Last year, in one of my leagues, in the middle of the season, I picked up Cade Otton. Godwin was hurt. Someone else was hurt, maybe. Whatever it was, there was opportunity there, and Otton was a top 5 tight end. Right now, McMillan's hurt. Godwin's hurt. Obviously, they now have Ibuka. But there still might be opportunity. So Cade Otton, if you want to give him a tryout, especially while Godwin's out for the first month of the season, he could give you back-end tight end 1 numbers. In tier 8, I happen to like Jawan Johnson, Jatavian Sanders, and Theo Johnson. I think they all, I can tell myself a story where all of them end up as back-end tight end 1s. Basically what we're saying here is there's the elite guys, there's a couple guys in the middle that I like this year, Warren, Kraft, Ingram, then Okonkwo, and then it's pretty flat for me. So in a tight end premium league, at the end of the draft, if you want to take a Sanders in year 2 of an emerging offense with a young quarterback, sure. Is Theo Johnson potentially the number 2 target in New York? He is. So with a good athletic profile, there's some upside there. Excited about it. Are you going to start any of these guys day 1? But names to keep an eye on. there you have it. Tight ends, fantasy football, 2025. Hit me up if you want a copy of the tiers or if you want to fight me.